Hello, everyone. I just wanted to inform you guys of everything coming up with the podcast and my plans for the future and what the next few weeks are going to hold for this podcast. So within the next few days, actually, because right now we're at 39 weeks, we are expecting our daughter to be here. So that's taking up a bunch of my time, and rightfully so, because it's my daughter. It's my first actual blood child, which I have Jesse. You guys know the story. But my first time being in the delivery room, being present for a newborn. I've never been around a newborn besides my nephew, Shawn. Very excited, and I just cannot wait for her to be here so I can just hold my daughter and just finally have her here, because this has just been an anticipation game, because we found out at like 5 or 6 weeks that she was pregnant. So it's been a long time coming. We've been waiting for this day. So I'll always keep you guys informed on what's going on, but these next few weeks I may not be able to upload any episodes. I really just want to spend that time with my daughter and Amanda and Jesse, just kind of get that bond going and make sure everything is okay after this pregnancy. So I will post and keep you guys updated, maybe on my YouTube, just kind of build that up. But as far as full 20, 30-minute episodes, I probably won't be doing that again until July. But you still get content, but just not that. So now would actually be a good time to talk about the future of this podcast and what I really see it becoming, and just everything that can branch off from this podcast. So the one thing that I will say about this podcast is I really didn't have a plan for the podcast, if I'm being completely honest with you. So I was just coming in, just throwing darts on episode 0, just seeing what stuck. So I kind of got a grasp on what you guys like, and I'm going to play off of that on future episodes. So one thing that I've realized is there's not really a lot of dad podcasts out there, a lot of guys talking about fatherhood, things like that. So this podcast could actually be that. There's a lot of different ways we could branch this podcast out, but I feel like I would stick to the core of what I think this podcast could grow on with this podcast, which is the fatherhood topics, things like that. But we could actually branch out and start another podcast as far as a sports podcast, I love rankings. I don't know why I love to rank stuff. I love making lists. We could do that, but that would have to be another podcast so they don't coincide with each other with this podcast. But there's that. We could do short stories on YouTube. There's a lot of different ways we could do this. So I'm just going to actually sit and think through this. The only thing I can guarantee is eventually we will have another podcast. But let's grow this one first, and then we'll get to another podcast. All of these ideas sound great, but maybe they'll do great on just a YouTube for now. But I'll sit down and think about it. We'll see how that goes.